What's up, everybody? Ryko here. Today, we've got Ryan Lobel, and he got 49th place at the Santa Clara Regional. There were 560 players. The largest Santa Clara Regional. Definitely excellent. Great feat.
Thank you.
And this is your first invite, right?
This is my first invite.
Let's go. That's awesome.
It was fun. It was tiring. It was a long day.
Yeah.
560 people, 10 rounds of Swiss was terrible. But it was fun at the end.
You know what? You did it.
Yeah.
You did it. All right, so what deck did you play?
I picked branded Voiceless Voice, so we didn't go with the pure one, we went with the branded variant.
Okay. You just like the branded cards a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that the branded engine gives the deck a little bit more push going second, and if you have it going first, it basically just is a free interruption, and a non-targeting banish with a Mirror Jade is just kind of nuts right now, so.
Absolutely agree.
It beats the Mirror Match too.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, you have Mirror Jade, they lose.
All right, so let's get into the profile.
All right, so we're gonna start off. We have 3 lows. Don't look at the rarities. They're
beautiful quarter.
We have one quarter. We're trying to get our last 2. I'll just go over them like super quick. Everybody kind of knows what they do at this point. Below, you Summoner, normal or special. Voiceless Speller trap from the deck. So you either go with like Radiance or Barrier with low. The next one you have 3 Saphira. Saphira is really good in this version of the deck because you can send it off of the branded fusion. So you basically get a guaranteed way to ritual summon just off of having branded fusion, which is really sick. But in herself, she basically adds a ritual from deck to hand by also pitching herself and sending a ritual spell to the graveyard. So she's pretty good. You have the 1 Saravis. One brick. You love to see him. You love to special him. You hate to draw him. I draw him all the time. But there's some times where you have you have an extra spell engraved and you're like, you know what? I'm gonna make Saravis. I'm gonna have a Solemn Warning on the field. So he's still really good. He's really good at summoning off the trap mainly too. Obviously you have your double Skull Guardian, the centerpiece of him and low of the entire deck. He is an Omni Negate. He's a huge tower. He searches every one of your monsters in your deck, basically. So he kind of just floats, and he basically helps the whole deck kind of jet around. It's a lot. It just does a lot. It's a really good card. Then we have 2 of the Ritual Saravis, the Solemn Warning, the Targeting Protection. He came up a lot. There's a lot of times where my low or my, you'll see in a second, the Diviner or him, the Skull Guardian was getting impermed or Veilered, and he basically just, when he had a couple people scoop games up just because when you have it and they know, okay, I can't break the board, they kind of just scoop it up. So he's really good at like protecting your monsters, getting their effects off. And then we play 3 Diviners. Really good in this deck. Just being able to either pop something, add a ritual spell or a spell or monster to the hand, or tribute her to get low and get your plays going. It's really good. She's really good, especially pairing her with like Saphira, because you can tribute both. If you open like the ritual spell, get 1 to grave, get low, and it just kind of starts flooding the board, and it does a lot. And being able to ritual off of the Saphira engrave. So Diviner's really good. You play the 1 Trius, and then the worst brick in the world, Fallen of Halbaz. I drew this more than Branded Fusion. But it's okay. He also won me a couple games by contact fusing away like big monsters. The fact that he doesn't target and he just fuses, they can chain into SP and then you just take the SP and fuse it. So yeah, and then this being able to pair with Diviner to tribute it, or even if you have it in hand, it's another way to get a ritual summon going, and then you can tribute like Diviner on the field after that. So they both came up a lot. A lot of people don't know about its other, like the ability to tribute multiple fairies, and it came up a couple times where you destroy. Yeah, if you tribute 2, you get a pop, and if you do, it never comes up. But if you get 3, you get a draw. So that part doesn't come up, but 2 sometimes comes up when they want to like imperm you on your Diviner. You can you're gonna get it back, so it comes up sometimes. And then for the spells, we have our 3 barriers.
Such a good card.
Such a busted card. I can't wait for the new ones to come out. But yeah, this card basically shuts off a good portion of hand traps and cards from targeting your monsters. And it searches, and every turn since this continues, you search once per turn. It's just immediate follow-up. Gets you everything in the deck. You can add the trap, add low, add Skull Guardian if you need. Whatever you need, this gets you, and then again, it protects. So it's pretty nuts. And there's a really cute little interaction you do with this and with the branded engine, and I'll go over that later. The next, obviously, you play is 3 pre-preps. Pretty self-explanatory. Basically gets you your ritual and your ritual spell, and then you just start making plays from there. A lot of times I ended up siding this out going second just because I'd rather see interrupt like abilities to break boards than being able to just add cards, because the deck already has so much like recursion and being able to add stuff off of every card that you don't need the extra ability to add. You'd rather be able to, like, if you're going second, you want to OTK as fast as you can. Play the 2 prayers. Playing 1 sucks because if you draw it, your Saphir is dead. You can't play 3 because it's bricky. But 2 is the perfect number because you want to be able to send 1, and if you draw it, it's not the worst thing. Then this is where we get to the spicy part of the deck. You play 3 Branded Fusion. Nice little ulties. Yeah, Branded Fusion's just really good because it's an Ash bait. They might think you're playing Branded if you open with this, so it takes care of some hand traps, especially on, like, if they go Albion, or when you get to Mirror Jade, they want to out the Mirror Jade and the Albion really fast. So they kind of waste some resource to do that, and then you just start playing with your Voiceless engine. And it locks you into fusions, and the only other card you're making is maybe Dynamundo or Chaos Angel, and it comes up very rarely. And I personally don't like to go Dynamundo very often because you're putting your cards at risk. And when the deck can just basically do it on its own, get the cards it needs without having a Dynamundo, it's only there if you, like, need it. But a lot of people like to do Dynamundo, like, opening turn. I don't. Then we played Board Breakers. Instead of going with the hand traps, we chose to go Board Breakers because I don't like to get my hand ripped from Talons. And there was a lot of people playing Talons this weekend. So we went Board Breakers. So we went 3 Super Poly. Don't ignore this one. We played 3 Super Poly. We main decked 3 Talons. So obviously breaking boards with Talons is the easiest thing in the world. Doesn't target. It's an immediate break to the Voiceless board. It helps break apart the Snake Eye board because you just take the Apo, or you take the Baron and you can pop with the Baron, and it just does a lot. So Talons was one of the best cards I had in my deck this weekend, and I would definitely keep it in there. Even after this new support comes out, we're definitely gonna still be main decking Talons. And then the other board breakers we played 2 Cosmic. Cosmic came up a lot, being able to hit the Temple, being able to hit the IP in the back row, hitting the barriers. It does a lot, and it's good going first because you can just set it and it's extra interruption, or you play going second. And I think I cited it out one time the entire event because it came up in every matchup. And then the one that caught a lot of people off guard, I chose to go with Book of Moon.
Book of Moon.
Book of Moon was probably the MVP this weekend. It protects your low. It protects your diviner. Being able to send, if you know you're gonna imperm, you or like something like imperm or Valor, you just flip it. You send the Herald from the extra deck, and then you add the ritual spell, and you can still tribute diviner even though it's face down. So that came up a lot. It also came up a couple times protecting the Branded engine by booking the Albion and then still using the Albion to fuse. So that came up a lot. Plus, it is a lot better against Snake Eye than a lot of people think, because on your turn they want to link away their Flame Bridge to make SP or Apo. If you book the Flame Bridge, it just kind of sits there, and it's like they can't use it for anything. So a lot of times this would be set. They would go IP effect. You chain Book of Moon, you flip the Flame Bridge, and they kind of just got really sad because they had to link away their other links. So it came up a lot. Then the one we played the one called by the 1-1-for-1, and then self-explanatory. They just
good powerful
one-ofs, and then the one trap. You want to play it more, and you don't at the same time. It's such a good trap. It's just once it's gone, it's gone. But with the support that's coming out, this will be able to be recycled, which will be fun and nice. And then we go to this.
That's for the main deck, right?
That was the main deck. Yeah, 40 cards on the dot.
40 cards on the dot.
And then we have the side. We played 1 Anima.
Extra deck.
Yeah, my bad. Extra deck. We played 1 Anima, 1 SP, the 1 Dynamundo, which I did not summon it once the entire weekend. I summoned this once. I used this twice. The Elder Entity Entis it came up actually, it won me one of my games, which is actually pretty cool. The 1 Mud Dragon, which this came up a lot. Being able to protect your light monsters from being targeted, so you just, as soon as you super poly the board, you make this and call light. It's basically, you get to save your Saravises at this point, which is really nice. The 1 Garura, which I think I summoned it one time. This came up a lot. This is such a good card against the Snake Eye board because they go IP with Apo. This gets rid of both, and they're stuck on 1 Flame Bridge, and then you just OTK them. So this card was really good. And then, so the next part is the Branded engine, and we went with like as small as we could in the extra deck. I didn't want to like double up on any of them, so we played 1 Albion, 1 Lubellion, 1 Mirror Jade, and we did play the Sanctifier. This card should get banned. This card is so strong. Albion was cool, but Lubellion is nuts because if you if you have your Voiceless board already up and you draw this going like turn 3, and you protect this from one effect, this is unaffected. They try to imperm this 4 or 5 times, and they forgot that barrier was up with a ritual and low.
Oh yeah, because it's a light.
It's a light.
Barrier
Yep.
can protect it.
Yep, it was pretty good. And then once Mirror Jade's on the board, they kind of, there's not a lot you could do. And then if you do out it, your board's getting wiped. So, and then Sanctifier, because we wanted to be a little degenerate and we wanted to Jalgan lock people.
Ooh, Jalgan. Okay.
The other super poly target, we had one Guilty Gearfried, which unfortunately didn't come up. I didn't play any Manadium. I didn't play anything that was double warrior, which theoretically it's good, but it didn't come up. This came up a lot. We sent this, I think, at least once per match. We sent this once because I wanted to, I already had what I needed. I wanted to keep Diviner on the board because I wanted to tribute it because I had an extra Saphir in hand, and this comes up a lot in that situation. So Herald came up a good amount. We didn't summon this once, or we didn't summon this once. It's Voiceless. You don't need your extra deck too often except for the branded cards. This is good because it can save you on a turn, and this is good if you play like Manadium, but we didn't play Manadium. But I mean, they both, I wouldn't cut them. I actually liked everything that I played in the deck. I wouldn't change any of the ratios. Once the new support comes out, then we'll mess around with it a little bit, but everything was there if I needed it, which was what I really wanted. And then we get to the side deck. So side was pretty standard. I feel like we played a little Bestial package because this searches half the deck. This is good because it removes problematic cards. This interaction almost came up. It actually almost did, which was funny, where Diviner was stuck on the board. This also, I summoned this on their turn. And I had Diviner, Low, Skull Guardian, and the barrier. And they summoned on their turn. This came up. They outed my Low, and then they summoned. And then I tributed my Diviner with this, banished their card, and then I got another Low off of it. Or I was gonna get another Low, but as soon as I tributed the Diviner, they scooped because they saw what was gonna happen, which was, so it was almost gonna come up. It's kind of a little like cute interaction, but it came up almost, and it made me win a game. So I liked. These also were really good against some of the matchups I played, like against Snake Eyes. It gets rid of the IP, gets rid of the Link Rebo. It just kind of helps you push. It helps them weaken the board. Is what you really needed with these guys. We played the Jowkin because we're
What years?
being able to, every time I would go Sanctifier and they saw Jowkin and Grave, it happened twice. They just scooped because this is a light, and with the Voiceless board, you can't target this with Imperm or Veiler or anything. You can't target it to pop or to push with any spells. There's only 2 cards that out the board, and it's Droplet and Dark Ruler, so you basically are putting them on a card that nobody's playing, which is Dark Ruler. So that's either they have to have Droplet and at least a 1-card combo, because if they're gonna sacrifice 2 or 3 cards out of their hand to negate the board, they're playing on like 1 card, so they have to have it. So it's basically if you summon it, the game's over. We played the one Pendulum Graph, which came up one time. It's there for time mainly. In the next format, this is gonna be a lot better because you're gonna be going against Tempai, and we're gonna want to summon Meteor Burst off of this. But as of right now, it's just there for the extra spell negate. I don't like getting Talon. Talon breaks the board, and this protects you from Talons. So that's the only time. If I'm going first and I saw game 1 that they're playing Talons, I'm putting this in. Game 3 because I don't want to get Talon. I don't want them to take my Skull Guardian and make me sad. So this came up a good one time. We play a Thrust, some Dustable cards. We played 2 Thrust, 1 Duster, 1 Storm, and Evenly, and the Black Girl Laughs, which did come up a couple times where you would just going first against Snake Eye Pure, you just set it off your Thrust and you call Flame Bridge, or you call Princess or something that you can't deal with. And they can't use it, which they basically just pass turn back to you. So it's a free turn skip almost against like certain matchups. Against Voices, you can just call the Skull Guardian and can't summon it, and they're sad. And then everything else is just board breakers. We just doubled down on all our board breakers except for the Bestials, just because I like starting my turn going second with 6 cards in my hand, then 4, and hoping that the hand traps were just enough. And then the final things, we played the best Floodgate Summon Limit.
Needs to be banned.
No anti-spell. Hit anti-spell, not this one.
Banning these.
This card, surprisingly enough, I only activated it twice the whole day. Because the board was enough without it, but when I did use it, it makes people sad.
Yeah.
Which we like to do sometimes. So Summon Limit was pretty cool. So yeah, that was the 15 card side.
Excellent. And if you want to quickly go over your matchups real
Yeah, so matchups, we played 3 pure Snake Eye. Again, I prepared my deck for more Snake Eye, and I only saw 3, which was a little less than I thought, but we prepared really well for it. We played 1 Centurion, which I don't play hand traps, so that matchup didn't go so hot. Day 1 die roll, I looked at my hand and I said, aw, we're getting Calamity locked. I played a Branded, which this deck just powers through Branded. If they don't gimmick you, you just power through the board. It's not that tough. We played a Trap Trick. That one was a little weird. It was I wasn't used to playing against Trap Trick, so it was some weird interactions that I had to kind of adjust to against the deck. But we took out Trap Trick. We played a Labyrinth stun deck, which was not fun, but when you open up the one of evenly, you kind of have game. I played against Horus Synchro. That was weird. His board was Baron, SP, Vanity's Ruler. Is it Vanity's Ruler, the big one? That's the level 8. And then had a bunch of back row. So we baited out the Baron and the SP, and then we took the Vanity's Ruler with Talons and we used it to tribute for the skull card. Good. He was so sad. He went, oh. I played against Dinomorphia, which that guy was pretty cool. He was in top 64 also. Just a lot of traps. 3 judgments, just trap turbo.
At least Lo can resolve because she's 50.
That's
true. Yeah,
she was 50.
Yeah, he was like, I can't get low enough to negate your low. So I was like, yes, low's safe. I think that was it. Yeah, and then we had a buy round 9.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Buy round 9.
You take 3 wins. The guy was sitting on the side. He didn't want to play. He was just playing for the mat. So he was like, I don't want to play.
All right.
So he just dipped. But yeah, we went X3, got 49th place. And we're going to Texas.
Let's go. We're going to Texas, and we'll see you all there.
Yeah, we'll see you guys there.
Congratulations again, and thank you all for watching. And until next time, peace.